not similarly, but so are you familiar with Teslin Figaro from Revolt? She's an activist
No.
out of Cali and a journalist and activist. Well,
Oh,
she was,
the name is not unfamiliar, but I
yeah.
can't say that I immediately
Oh, okay.
connected to anything.
So
Yeah,
she
no.
she kind of went. She was on CNN, one of those evening programs last night, and she was just going off, like, and she was saying how they were arguing about Epstein, and she was like the average American could care in her community could care less. Like there are real issues that are being deflected from, and she said one in particular is what's going to happen after this bill is passed. She said my uncle died less than 24 hours ago. Said that right on TV, and she was saying how his sugar went down and he was unable to access medication. And
Hmm.
she said less than 24 hours. She said so none of this matters. None of this, because people in my community are not concerned with anything Epstein. It's not moving the needle, and their base is not going to be swayed. She was like
What? Now hold on. Wait a minute. Do
well, I
that.
mean,
Do that
that's
for me.
that's just what she. I'm just
Do that
telling
for
you.
me one more time. I didn't. Maybe I missed it. Go ahead. Do you mind repeating it? What
She,
was the?
well, in her words, she was saying the Epstein argument that they were having on TV does not matter to her community because people are dying for a lack of healthcare access and rising costs. She said that it's not going to change their base, and none of this matters to my community. That was her words, and I was just saying how
Wait.
that was
So all right. So connect the dots for me.
that they needed to be talking about something else. And healthcare being the priority, and she had just lost a relative, and so I was
Oh
just
yeah, of
drawing.
course, of
Yeah,
course, yeah.
yeah,
So well, I mean, January 30th is coming,
yeah.
and it's a tragedy. Certainly, we weep for her family. And are you saying that this won't spur people to action?
Well, she was saying how they no that part may, but she was just saying how it's irrelevant to keep going on and on and on and on about the Epstein piece because no matter what you say, it's not the Epstein piece is not going to sway their base. That was her point.
Okay,
That was her
so okay,
secondary
that
point.
that okay, that there you go. That's the leap. That's the leap that I missed
Yeah.
because their base. I mean, first of all, we talk about bases as if these things are sports teams, but and again, this is
Well,
let's
Republican voters is basically what she was
yeah.
saying. Her issue is who are
Okay,
we?
well, if we're gonna
What are the Democrats doing? Who are they running for midterms? Who are your candidates? What is the strategy? What is long term? That was what she was saying.
I see. And what does that have to do with? I'm just trying to understand because people are signing up to run for office and work has not stopped. I guess what I'm saying as well is that the so-called Republican base, if you had to poll them, and you can't, these polls are samples after all, but if you had a sampling of Republican voters on the question of whether or not the assorted files connected to Jeffrey Epstein should be released, would they be for releasing the Epstein files or against it?
Oh, that's anybody's guess.
No, it's not actually. This was one of the campaign promises that Donald Trump made. And in fact, it was one of, remember the empty binders Pam Blondie was waving around? This is actually one of the, if we're going to talk about bases as if they're one thing and talk about things they want, this is one of the things they were promised. I think, quite frankly, as we will see, I think we talked to Ro Khanna yesterday, right? And Ro Khanna, Thomas Massey, who've been hitting all the shows. And again, thanks to Congressman Khanna for spending some time for us and to our friend and sister and label mate, Ajwa Azamor, for making that happen.
Mm.
Uh, they both are saying, and they're not alone, that dozens of Republicans, once the vote is called, will vote to, they think, release the Epstein files. And I think that's true quite simply because many of their constituents, let's call them, well, I don't know, the base, want that.
Well, no, I don't
So
disagree
I'm,
with. I
I'm
don't.
not,
I
I'm
don't
not,
disagree with
I'm
that.
not connecting those dots as
So
easily
I
because
don't.
I
I don't
think,
disagree with that. What I'm saying is, once they are released, and then what? I don't. I
what
don't
do you
think it's
mean?
going to. And then what?
Well,
Anybody?
then you have
Nobody's
President,
going to jail. Nobody's.
then you have President JV Vance
Well, that's
because
that's
I think
happening. That's going
because
to happen anyway.
what's the next story?
That's gonna happen
What's the
anyway.
next story you got
No,
there? I mean,
you
no,
you
what I'm saying
ask
is
you
that
asking
it's
me.
not as easy to make those leaps of logic. You got to think about it, man. I mean, at the end of the day,
After giving thought, that's where I arrive. It's
okay,
that's how I see it. Like it's
all right,
they don't
that's
care.
fair.
The propaganda is ramping up already. They're already defending pedophilia. It's been in motion for years. They have new terms. They have new. But we saw Megyn Kelly yesterday on this
That just
platform.
makes it even more absurdist. So I guess, yeah.
We
Well,
we
let's agree to agree.
we
Let's
saw we saw Megyn Kelly on this very platform, this service, defending the actions of the people in the emails. There's already a movement in this country in back channels, on 4chan, on Reddit, over the last few years to change the word pedophilia to minor attracted persons. There's already propaganda put in place to defend it. So once these emails that they've been holding on to that could have been accessed, once they get released, nothing is going to happen. The constituency is, I'm in favor of white supremacy. I don't care about nothing else. That's how they think. White supremacy provides me comfort and benefits and access to privilege. Nothing else matters.
There's certainly an element of that of these folk for whom that's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. I think that percentage is far less than commercial news, entertainment, mass media, that social media working completely uninformed and on, let's say, let me think of a good word. Oh yeah, vibes is trying to, it will say, and by the way, please, man, don't we all work at Sirius XM? Somebody get Stephen A. Smith and get that microphone away from him before he talks again. But at any rate, quite frankly, anyway, but yeah, I think what we're going to find is, see, ultimately reality will intercede. It doesn't matter how much spin, how much propaganda you put on a thing. At some point, the reality is going to emerge. And the reality is that none of us know what is in those files. And based on what we do know has come out of Epstein, the latest round of which was released by the Epstein estate, followed by the Republicans, desperate, even more desperate. You think they would have let those thousands of emails out had not Connor and Thomas Massie and them released what was subpoenaed by Connor from the estate out? No, of course they wouldn't have. They're desperate now. And of course, yeah, you've got the Attorney General of the United States out here defending pedophilia. I think what you're looking at is an absurdist move. It's an absurdist move. In other words, you're so desperate now that you sound even crazier.
Yeah, sure.
And in fact, Heather Cox Richardson was saying this the other day. She said, we're watching the ideology of the far right MAGA smash against reality, with President Donald J. Trump and his cronies madly trying to convince voters to believe in their false world rather than the real one. I think they're really increasingly untenable. Their position's untenable.
We should hope so. All right, we got to take a quick break.
More from Urban View Mornings after this on Sirius XM Urban View.